Hello, everybody, and welcome to Magical Journey Podcast. Justin White, I gotta tell you, you literally are the first person that almost make me laugh out loud trying to come on and not. Oh, dude, that was hysterical. Thank you. I appreciate that, and I appreciate each one of you guys for coming in tonight and watching our 1 year show. Can you believe that? Can you believe it's been a whole year and they haven't canceled me yet? All right. So before we get started tonight, because I got two folks that are going to be in here with me here in just a moment, um, I just want to let you guys know that if you have not been to magicaljourneypodcast.com, you are missing out. So write that down, go to it, and check it out, where you can find magical merch, among other things. And you will not be disappointed, trust me. If you are, write somebody else. I don't want to hear it. Anyway, tonight I am going to bring to the stage with me Austin Lawrence and Tom Franklin. Hello, men. How are you?
Howdy. I'm in a very happy
guys. How are you doing tonight?
I was just eating Chinese food, so I'm feeling very,
Bustable?
Combustible. Yeah, most likely.
Yeah. I'm doing good, man, and thanks for having me on, man, for the 1 year episode. It's an honor.
Well, thank you very much for coming on. Hey, before we get too far in, I want you guys to tell our folks a little bit about yourselves. Tom, since you're gonna head out here in a moment, let's start with you.
Yeah, my name is Tom Franklin. I host the Eye of Jupiter podcast every Friday, right before this show. I have on incredible guests. I just had on Mr. Collins from the CCIS, the Connecticut Cryptid Investigative Society, and we got into some really cool things. That's every Friday at 6:45 Eastern Standard Time, and I also release a pre-recorded episode every Tuesday in the middle of the day. Depends on what time of year it is, because I don't have Mexico. We don't do that. There's lightning out there, so yeah, dude, it's the rainy season, and there's a river outside of my door. Yeah, so I have on interesting people. I've had on Austin many times. I've had on Magic many times, and I hope tonight we're able to get you to that wonderful 500 mark, my friend. Best of luck to you.
Thank you. So, Austin,
going
tell
on?
us about you. Let's hear about you.
Oh man, I hate when people ask that question. So I'm a paranormal investigator, currently working on my new show, The Dead Chronicles. Put out a couple books, and now I'm here. I'm excited for this. This has been 1 year. That's a huge achievement. Most people don't make it a year, so hats off to you for your grind and hard work, man.
Thank you. I appreciate you both very much. While we're at that, I just want to, first of all,
hi Justin. Yes. Oh shit, Tom's on here. Yes.
Justin, I love Justin, dude. I'm getting ready to open the show, and I look at the chat, and there's I don't know if I can even find the comment now. Justin is like, oh yeah, oh here it is. Oh yeah, sexy motherfuckers coming. And I'm just like, what? What?
Must have been talking about Tom.
And I'm
dude, oh, you know it.
You
know it. I exude it, baby. I exude.
Oh yeah.
Always.
Oh shit! This is going to be the best goddamn show I've seen all year. Well, I can't stay the whole time, but I can hang out for, I don't know, about a half hour altogether, because I got to go to another show after this. Magic was a little late, because I would have definitely co-hosted with him. He would have told me, but he's a busy man, man. You that's the thing I want to give you compliments on, dude. You're such a busy dude. You work night shifts, and you still find time to, you're writing your own book now. That's incredible. You go ahead and you not only find the guests, not only get them to come on your show, but you actually look deep into what it is that they do. And, just being on here for me is just like an honor and a privilege, man. So I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. I gotta tell you, honestly, one of all of our biggest assets, this lady here,
Right.
Pam. I got my mod team. All of my mod team is amazing.
Yeah, man.
All of my mod team is incredibly amazing. I appreciate each one of you. A lot of things, a lot of days, a lot of things going on that these guys are always ready to get in there and help out, find out what they need to find. They'll dig for things.
You probably the people on here watching us wouldn't probably know who we are because without what they do. A lot of your mod team is my mod team. I think you might have one or two different, but there's Jenny and Mike and Pam and Denise, all the wonderful mods that I have on my show are also do your show. And it's been a year for you, it's been like a year and a half for me, and they're nonstop, especially Pam, because Pam's been with me since the beginning. Everyone knows her, and we are, like you're saying, buddy, we are extremely fortunate to even know them as people.
Exactly. And actually, one of my youngest mod joined me on episode 17 as a guest, and that is Ellie. And I gotta tell you, another amazing, supportive, absolutely gonna always send high love your way. I can't even tell you how many times my mods have answered the call whenever they sense I'm in a funk and they're like, wait a minute.
Oh wow. If I could turn that off, I would show you there's a river outside my window right now.
I'm like, why is Tom disappearing underneath
the
desk?
I don't know.
It's one of those kind of it's one of those shows, guys. You know how it is. I just woo. Then now you can see my birdcage chest. So let me go and get this back up to my big bulbous head. That's better. There we go.
Wow.
Oh yes.
So and I just wanted so for those of you that do not know the whole story, I'm not going to give you the whole story, but I will tell you this. Magical Journey started out after me flipping through YouTube channels and coming across an interview with Tom Franklin. And I was like, my first impression is, who is this guy? Because it was.
I ask myself that every day.
Every time I talk to him, I wondered the same thing. So
I mean, a lot of his.
Let me know if you figured out.
Spot on, like the way you seen that. You're right on the money.
but the thing is like when I was watching the interview, it was not just informative, but it was funny, it was entertaining, it was everything that I was not expecting from a paranormal interview. Okay. And I said to myself, I think I want to try this out. And so there was some emails back and forth between Tom and I, and I was like, dude, I want to have you on. I want to do an interview with you. So lo and behold, episode number 2, Tom showed up, and he showed out in a way that made me just go, I've got to do this. I've got to keep doing it.
That's that sexual energy that Justin was talking about. Yeah, I know, man.
Oh my goodness.
There's a reason we only have cameras from chest up.
Yeah.
No. Right.
When Tom's in the room.
Yeah, no nipples. No.
There you go.
Nope.
Nope.
There you go. So, but then Tom had on a guest that really intrigued me. And the minute that the interview started, I was glued to this to my computer the whole time. And that guest was Austin. And
Yeah, dude.
I was like, I don't know what I'm watching here, but this guy is really deep into what he does, and it's intriguing me to no end. So I got Austin on the show, and we deep dived into some stuff. And I was just like, you know what? Again, another reason why this needs to happen, why Magical Journey podcast needs to be a thing. Who is Austin? Austin, who are you?
This is your moment to be very introspective.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just here. You just asked me to come on. I just showed up, and I'm like, hey.
Socrates has spoken.
There you go. There you go. So I do want to throw something out there to you guys, that because there was a question asked to me today, and during an interview I was doing for another show here just a little bit ago, and it was basically, what was the interview, what was the episode that really made you think, that really brought it out for you? And I got to tell you honestly, episode 72, the strange case of time slip in Valdosta, Georgia, with Maria, that episode just was a mind fuck to me. Okay, I mean, how Pam's killing me with a Taco Bell. He does like Taco Bell. You're right.
And I'm apparently making Justin smoke. I'm sorry, Justin. We'll quit together.
Wow, you guys. So that episode.
Yeah, that's the great thing though about having people, like, you never know what you're going to expect. Like, I think Austin came on like on the spur of the moment, man. I think I shot it out on Facebook. Hey, my guest jumped ship. And then Austin's like, I got you, bro. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, let's go. Let's do it. And he came on and he was amazing. And, he's very introspective in the way he does things. It was just an interesting conversation to have with somebody. And that's, through a year of doing it, I imagine you can say something to this, buddy, is that you meet these people and you realize that you have more in common with people than you realize, just maybe not the people in your life around you. And doing what you do the way you do it, you're attracting the right people in your group. We have so much. I also like Taco Bell. I'm smoking again. And it's something, wearing yellow shoes. What are we talking about? And
these are our people.
These are our people. People are having these experiences. Austin tries to bring them out and bring them into light, goes deep into the background and tries to, to maybe change the narrative that may be negative about somebody. And you get to realize who he is as a person. And that time slip episode, there was probably a lot of twists and turns being a podcaster, or, or being a guest like yourself, Austin, that, the interview or the interviewee may ask you, that just throws you in a left turn, and you got to be quick on your toes. But that's the part that I like the most, the part where you have to, improvise in the moment, and it's been fun to follow what you've been doing, man. It's been great.
So let me ask you guys, because this is one of those things that always makes me very, very interested in finding out where people fall in what we do here. All right, so we have all this controversy going on lately with Robert the Doll, Annabelle, all of these haunted objects. Let's talk about that for a minute. What is you guys' idea? What's your thoughts on haunted objects?
Go ahead, Austin. I'm sure you have a lot more insight on this than I do.
Dude, I'm so tired of going places and seeing their haunted items collection. Like, we went to one location. I just told this dude to shut the hell up because I'm so tired of hearing about it. Here's the thing. Annabelle, look, if people look at the actual Annabelle story, to me, the original story makes sense. They weren't saying necessarily that this doll was possessed or anything like that. What the Warrens were saying is that in order for this demon to get invited in, they use this doll to try to make them think it's a little girl, so they would manipulate this doll so that it would welcome them in. That makes sense to me. I could see how a demon, if they exist, they manipulate you to try to get in. So manipulating something like a doll, okay. But if you're telling me that this doll is demonically possessed or whatever, and it's been all around the damn country for how many years and it still hasn't found a host, come on now. But if you put on oven mitts, you're okay. You can handle it, but you can't do it without oven mitts. And then the plexiglass protects you. I mean, I wish I was making this up. It is the most idiotic thing ever. So I don't really fully believe in this whole haunted object BS. Like, there's nothing in this world that I mean, I love my computer, but when I die, am I going to haunt my computer? No. Like, there's no object that I'm so obsessed with that I want to go with it. You would probably be with people, with a house, maybe. I don't know. Like, come on now.
Like a spectral version of yourself on Facebook.
Right. Like, it's so ridiculous. You'll just buy my computer and you'll just start typing shit in. You're like, what?
Oh, you have extreme candor. You have extreme candor tonight. I love it. I don't know, man. My take on it is such, man. It's like, when it comes to anything, I guess what you're saying is that when it comes to hauntings, there's the hitchhiker effect, and there's also, which I think is a real thing. And there's also like the location itself, for whatever reason, some type of energy happened, normally like a negative energy. Then now this place has some type of an anomaly that we're trying to understand. Okay, fair enough. Haunted objects, if you tell me it's haunted, I'm not even going to get in the room with it. That's just me and my experiences. I don't like Ouija boards. I don't like any of that stuff. You know what I mean? Everyone has their own field of view or their own little way. They, you're over there playing softball. I'm over here playing, pickleball, wherever the hell I'm playing. And for me, I don't want to play pickleball with any objects. I'll go to a haunted location. I have no problem with that. But if you said this doll is haunted, I'm going to believe you, even if it's true or not. So me, I like to play it safe. And I suggest people that you also play it safe and don't listen to Austin.
Yeah, I'm the exact opposite. One of the first places we filmed at, they had these haunted objects. It was a shrine where they allow Satanists and necromancers and all these people to come out and do their rituals and stuff like that. And they were saying, okay, make sure you do this, make sure you don't touch that, make sure you do this. And I went and I broke every single rule. And they're like, you can't. But I'm like, look, everything's going to be fine. And I said, and it's the way I kind of feel about haunted objects. Okay. We will take the Octagon Hall, for example, Civil War Hospital, all this stuff. They say that after they brought in the objects, activity kind of picked up. Well, okay. They're bringing in tons of Civil War items and they're giving the attention to them. I don't believe if Tom picked up a single Civil War object and put it in his house that anything would happen. In fact, right now I have a rib bone from a Civil War soldier on my desk that I found over in Kentucky. That's not going to do anything. But if you take that kind of stuff and you put it in a museum and people are putting all their attention to it, I think people are more so feeding into it and manifesting the activity than the objects themselves being haunted.
Yeah. I just want to give a quick update. Sorry, I don't want to be rude, but that was a good, I think a very good explanation of things. Like when there's actually a terminology for it when something may not exist, but if enough people believe in it exists, there's a word for that. Told him. Yeah,
Tulpa.
An update on the Magical Journey podcast. We are at 495. That means since you guys have started, we've gotten 2 more subs. We need 5 more, guys. 5 more. He said he's lacking on the hours. That means you also need to watch it. You guys have it right. Play it in the background. Do what I do. If he's on, he's got that sultry voice. Hey, everybody, how's it going? It's a little Michael Jackson-esque, but it's good. It's fair enough. And just let it play in the background while you're making your family's dinner. Let's get that 5 more subscriptions, and let's go ahead and get him over to our quota that he needs, so they actually can read. It's a thing. It's a thing. It motivates you to do that kind of thing. You work so hard, you bang your head against the wall, and you hit that little stepping stone, and it gives this man right here, this wonderful man right here, a friend of mine, that motivation to keep bringing you quality content that he needs. So if you're here, do me a favor, like and subscribe.
Right.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, buddy.
Thank you very much, Tom. Yeah, we are on a mission and a goal tonight, and that is to make sure that, first of all, we get to that 500. Second of all, that we give people not only some entertainment, but something to chew on other than, refried beans. And
The world's going to end. Yeah, the world's going to end every 2 seconds or something.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
The bizarre alien spacecraft traveling at phenomenal speeds.
Right.
From
we'll see
wherever that wants to probe Uranus, and yeah,
okay.
It's pronounced Uranus.
Try anything once.
Dude, is there any? Oh, look, 496, dude. 4 more. Come on, guys.
Right.
Ooh,
got it.
All right, dude.
Guys,
bro.
thank you. We can do this.
Is there any lady out there in the Kentucky Midwest area? Give Austin a call. Austin is a good guy. I'll vouch for him. He's a sweetheart. And just don't mind the Civil War rib bone on the desk. Just don't worry about that. Just pretend he got it from like Arby's or something. Don't worry about that.
Oh my goodness. How did we get to this point?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's called life, bro. It's called life. How do we get to any point? Yeah, buddy. So I actually gotta go, man. I'm so glad that you had me on, man. I gotta go jump on another show.
Right.
Do me a favor, guys. If you want to, if you like his content, you'll like mine as well. The Eye of Jupiter. Go over and check it out, guys. I have a backlog of, I don't know, maybe 170 shows live and pre-recorded. You can find that on your MP3 as well. Leave me a rating over on Spotify. All those things help. And I'll see you guys around. It's been a pleasure, man.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Good seeing you, man.
Good seeing you too, buddy. You keep it real, okay?
That's right.
All right, guys. Have yourself a wonderful weekend.
All right.
Bye.
Enjoy.
I will. Later.
All right. So, Austin, you and I, let's talk for a minute about a couple of other interesting little things that have crossed the desk over the last year or two. First of all, the last year, not the last year or two. First of all, let's talk a little bit about episode number 75, Roses for the Dead.
Oh, yeah.
What was it about that episode that was so ironic to you?
Oh, are we talking about the fact that you just like happened to pick that song out of nowhere?
Yeah.
That was pretty wild. Then after you picked that, it nonstop came across my Spotify. Like, dude, what did you do?
Like every day. It's so funny because here's the thing. There's actually a story behind that. And so the place that you were investigating at the time, the episode that the way you closed that episode, what did you do?
That was when I laid down roses at the grave. Yeah.
I thought that was extremely, when I saw that, the first thing I thought of was, that's the title for this episode, Roses for the Dead. And it's like, and the minute that you get this inspiration to do whatever, to call something into existence, that's when you know that things are happening for a reason, that there's an anchor to it.
Right.
One of the other things that we talk about a lot on this podcast, is cryptids. And I know you have thoughts on the cryptids as well. Probably one of the episodes that really stick out to me about the cryptids is episode 66, Bigfoot encounters and stories from one who can't unsee them. That was Barb Hartman, and her story, like, if you got to go back and watch episode 66 and really get a sense of what it's like to live amongst these beings. Austin, what's your thoughts though on cryptids, especially Sasquatch?
I mean, it's possible. I would definitely not say it's impossible. We're still discovering new stuff all the time, and we've barely even explored. People don't realize how much of the U.S. we haven't explored. Like, especially look at the Smoky Mountains. I think we've only like 10% of the Smoky Mountains have been like discovered. Not really discovered, but gone through. There's so much land just here that we've never investigated. So I think it's plausible. Especially because I always say, you know, the Native Americans had their own Bigfoot and stuff like that. And you'll never find a group of people who are more in tune with the land than the Native Americans. So who am I to say that those people are wrong? You know, it's difficult for me to say. So I mean, do they exist? I think that there is just as much of a possibility as there is anything else. Um, I think it kind of goes with like the paranormal though, where now we kind of have this crazy sensationalism to where people are like, this is all stupid, this is all idiotic, these guys are crazy. But I think, you know, we just discovered a shark that glows in the dark, which that's pretty fun to say. You should try it sometime. But I'm just saying, like, we're still discovering this stuff. So who's to say that there's not still cryptids out there?
Right, right. Yeah, that's where I'm working, the area I'm working in myself at this point is who's to say this doesn't exist? Because there's so many different things. Um, Evidence is becoming more and more plausible. The Patterson Gimlin film, you know, the work that's being done on it now, uh, phenomenal. Uh, you've got, you know, the work that people like Katie Page is doing to, you know, investigating the highest strangeness surrounding some of these places like Clearwater Ranch and, you know, and the Skinwalker Ranch and all of these different things, you know, that come into play. So I feel like there's a phenomenal amount of things, and you know, again, talking about uh, evidence, you've got Anna Claywood Jones, her friend, who was the first person who really wrote about or discussed Dogman, you know, and made that public knowledge. You know, all of these different things, all these different people have come out and said, you know, these things are real. This is, people are experiencing these things. So I think it's really important for us to understand that when it comes to the cryptids, you know, it sometimes it's hard for us to wrap our head around. But I remember when it was hard for me to wrap my head around dial-up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we're coming through a period where wow, some of these comments I'm hearing is absolutely hysterical. Um, but it's true. We're coming into a period where you 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 find just more and more hardcore evidence that begs for you to see it for more than just, AI art or whatever that people are saying. I mean, every time you turn around, somebody's like claiming that the next picture that's, is just AI art. Don't pay attention to this. It's not real. Because it's not out of focus or whatever, does not mean that it's not real. Okay. Um, let's talk for a minute about there's a couple of people that I've interviewed in the past that I really want to um, just kind of give a shout out to and talk about for a moment the cases revolving around these interviews. Um, Laura Risti, who is phenomenal with the information that she has on the Trini Gibson case. Uh, she has been on, I've interviewed her twice, and I've talked a lot about um, her information, her research in the first episode I did, dealing with Trini, which, oh my goodness, now if I went, episode 56 was the original episode that I talked about the disappearance of Trini Gibson in. And Laura came back and gave us some really good information on follow-up interviews with her, including stuff that we did not know in previous episodes
Yeah.
about her family and things that was very significant to the case. So again, Laura Risti, shout out to you for uh, joining us and bringing information about Trini Gibson that we would not have had otherwise. Another interview that I did and we've already kind of touched on this a little bit, was Chris McKinnell, who came on to tell us a little bit about the Conjuring series and the cases that are those stories are loosely based on.
Right.
He also gave us a lot of really great insight into Annabelle, and I really appreciate him for that. Um, Chris has been phenomenal in keeping us informed and giving us the right information, good information, solid information. Um, Katie Page, Trey Hudson, incredible informants on um, the high strangeness revolving in some areas. It's like the areas that they're doing research in, the amount of information that they're bringing to the table, phenomenal, phenomenal. You cannot, like, honestly, without some of the data that these guys are collecting, there's a huge gap in what we would know about the high strangeness in these localized areas.
Yeah.
Um, and then there's this guy named Austin bringing to the table some really, really amazing paranormal investigation and history. Austin, I love the fact that you tell the story from the lens of the historical value of the lives of the people, like what they did, who they were, why it's important. One of the things that I want to talk about for a minute is the uh, the jail cell, the old stone jail, and the graffiti that was uncovered there. Talk to us about that for a moment.
Yeah, it's absolutely wild. So the Old Stone Jail was built in multiple parts. Now the original Old Stone Jail, um, it was just kind of two cells, I believe, and they had the downstairs would have been the living quarters for the sheriff or whatever they were called at the time. But after the Civil War kind of broke out, the Union came over and really took over that town. And so any Confederate sympathizers would have been taken and locked up on the second floor. So when they came through and they started renovating this place, they tore down the wall. Behind the wall was this graffiti of these Civil War generals, and it's insane that this still exists. You know, to think that these people who went through the Civil War, you know, were locked up in here. Whole families would have been locked up together in this room, and they drew these pictures, and we can go and see them. Like, that's insane to me.
Yeah, yeah. And I got to tell you, being in that room, there is so much energy in that room. It's overwhelming. It really is.
Oh
It's
yeah,
very overwhelming. Um,
yeah. The whole thing is like, you know, if you haven't been to Kentucky, you do not know the Civil War. And I fully believe that from the first time that I went there. And now Brandon Alvis, we went to go to the Polk House that he owns now. And I asked him, he's originally from, I believe, California. And he said he'd been going out there for the past like 3 years or so. And I was like, you know, I kind of had this experience where when I came here, I realized I didn't know anything about the Civil War. Like everything that I knew was completely wrong. And he's like, absolutely, because they do not want to teach the real history of the Civil War, especially about Kentucky, which was, they didn't take sides in the Civil War. It wasn't Union state, it wasn't Confederate state. And, you know, when you learn that Abraham Lincoln lived right down the road from the leader of the Confederate Army, you're like, huh. And there's so many things that, you know, kind of went on there. And that's why you get such an unbiased representation of the Civil War when you're inside of Kentucky, because it really truly was brother versus brother there. And we look at Dr. J.J. Polk. He was a doctor who originally worked for a newspaper. Then he got sentenced to church time as a kid because he was playing with an African American child. And they said that was in the company of undesirables. So then he goes on to become a preacher. And then he goes on to become a doctor. And the next thing you know, Civil War breaks out and he's treating all these soldiers. And it was the bloodiest 2 hours in the Civil War. Lincoln famously said, to lose Kentucky is to lose the war. This was the battle right before Gettysburg. And if they would have lost that, it would have been a whole different outcome of the war. But anyways, after the Confederate doctor died, Dr. J.J. Polk was like, I'll take care of him. And he did. And there was one man in particular who was taking a while to recover. And he lived in his home with him. And he ended up passing away. And Dr. J.J. Polk, big time Union supporter. He was a preacher. He was big in the temperance movement. He was so against the grain on everything. One of 3 people to vote for Lincoln. I mean, he was just, you know, out there. He has this man buried in his family plot. So you go to the Polk plot and you have Dr. Polk, you know, a hardcore Union supporter, right next to this random Confederate soldier who died. And that's Kentucky. That's the side of the war that we do not see, we do not learn about. We hear North good, South bad. South wants slave, North said slave's bad. That's not even close to being true. You know?
Right. Right. And I think that's part of the reason why it's very important for us to be able to learn from folks like you what the things that you uncover and the things that, you know, we've been taught, they vary greatly, very greatly. So what you do is you bring to the table a lot of very helpful, useful, and needed information. You know, and
It, it
that's
really it really rehumanizes people is essentially what it is. Because even back then, we think about, oh, those people were terrible, but here they are taking care of each other. Don't get me wrong; they had some extremely messed up values in certain areas. Okay, but at the same time, you had two people who were literally killing each other, and one who is now dying. The guy on the other side says, "I'll take care of you."
yeah,
And they just don't want us to know this. Because one of my biggest questions going into this was, okay, so we had a Union hospital right here, a Confederate hospital right down the road. And I was talking to Brandon. I said, I know I'm messed up in the head. And I know it's because of modern day times or whatever, but if I'm on the Union side, I'm going over, I'm killing the Confederate doctor and I'm burning down his house. And then they have no one to take care of him. Why did that not happen? And he said, well, because they all cared for each other. Even though they were out there battling, they were still family and they still cared about one another. It was just a very bad thing that happened that it had to come to this, but they were still all looking at each other as humans. And that's something that we don't do today. And I think it's because of these narratives that have been pushed on us for years and years and years. You have good and you have
mhm,
bad, and bad are not humans. I mean,
yeah,
we turn on the news all the time. This bad person died. Oh, okay. Well, come on now. Still a person. And just because we think they're bad doesn't mean that they actually were, because in their culture, they might have been. And I always go back to, I'm rambling, but one of my favorite quotes was from a man who served in World War II. And he was asked how he felt about the Nazis. And he said, well, he said, honestly, he said the Nazis were doing the same exact thing as we were. They were fighting for what was right. And that still sticks to me because in their mind, they were, you know? So
exactly.
I don't know. It opens up all kinds of theological, philosophical, all kinds of rabbit holes to delve into. And I just love it.
Right, right. I think it's one of those things where, you know, we tend to take for face value everything that we've been taught. We just assume that that's the way it's supposed to have been,
Hmm.
and we don't question it. Why would we question that?
Right.
You know, and at the end of the day, you know, we go to sleep with that information that may be not so accurate. You know, and that's what we that's the foundation that we build all of our things on.
Yeah,
All of our
absolutely.
things is built on that foundation, you know. And you know, what do you do when you find out that the foundation that you have built your house on is got nothing but garbage underneath it?
Right. No, you're absolutely right. And I think that there has been, not to be too much of a conspiracy theorist, but I think over the years there has been this mission to really destroy empathy.
Mhm.
And I think we're starting to see that more and more. Now I think it's maybe kind of starting to pull back a little bit, hopefully. But I think that there's a lot of things that have been going on. And with the creation of AI, which I had crazy theories about that, but I think that that's going to continue to destroy empathy to a degree, and it's going to be scary, but
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe that's what we need, is to be a little afraid a little more often.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't I can't help but laugh a little bit whenever I see people celebrating the show with apple cake. That's like one of the coolest things ever. I
I've
like
never
apple
had apple
cake.
cake. That sounds phenomenal, though. I love apples.
You know, and they got like those fresh sweet apples grown right on their property. Right
Oh,
on the property. They're in the mountain area, so yeah,
oh,
right, right. Um, for those of you that are just coming in, first of all, I appreciate you coming in. But if there's something that we've said tonight or that you've ran across in this interview, this episode that really resonates with you, give us a little bit of a heads up as to what it is. Leave it down below in the comments or come into the chat and drop it into the live chat. We would appreciate that deeply tonight. Love the chat. Um, Thank you, Pam. By the way, that group is growing quickly. We have
yeah.
exceeded 300 members this week. So I'm very proud of the Facebook group and the work going on there. We have some exciting new members that have come in. Um, some of them have come in with pure fire. They're wound up about sharing their experiences, and I love that. So if you have not joined the Facebook group yet, go over there, join it, check it out, and follow those folks who are doing a lot of good posting over there. Um, while we're talking about some stuff here, Austin, what? So you're familiar with obviously the meadows, and I'm sure you've heard about the Snippy the horse case. What are your thoughts on those? What? How do you feel about the high strangeness?
That is something that I don't even try to wrap my head around. Honestly,
Yeah.
um, there's so many places with this high strangeness, like Somerset, Kentucky, that I've been to. That to me, there's no point in me even trying to understand. There's just some crazy stuff that goes on that I just have to accept, and there's definitely areas out there with high strangeness where crazy stuff happens, like Skinwalker Ranch and stuff like that. That I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I don't even begin to have a theory, but this stuff exists. I don't know why,
Mhm.
but it does. And that's even like we were talking about when the areas that we were in Kentucky. When you just drive through there, you can feel a difference.
Mhm.
Everything feels different. Why? I don't know. But there's so much stuff that goes on out there that is so insane that we can't even begin to comprehend. That I just don't even. I can't even dive into it. Like I can't even think about it. I'd be up for months on end.
Right, right. What's your thoughts on the portal thing that we talked about and experience there in the jail?
That's interesting. I really don't know. I feel like it's possible, but not plausible. Um, I think it's something that might happen, maybe not. I just feel like if we're opening up portals, we would probably know by now. The government's not that good at covering stuff up. It's just like time travel. If time travel existed, we would definitely know by now because someone would have traveled back. But I think it's something that could be somewhat dangerous. It's like, for example, there's scientists are now working on this thing where they believe that they can engineer the reverse structure of a DNA sequence. And they're saying this is great because then we can test all kinds of things on it. You know, we can have, you know, these single cell organisms that are mirror images of normal single cell organisms. And then we can do different tests to them and see how it reacts and everything else. But a lot of scientists are saying, well, here's the issue though. If we do this, we've got nothing to combat this. So this will end up taking over the world and killing all of humanity because our bodies have, you know, a way to, and that was part of the reason why is because our bodies kind of react to things. So if you take a pill, it might not work as good because your body's saying this is a foreign substance, got to fight it off. Well, this, your body doesn't know what to do with it. So it would just be forced to just take it. And so they're talking about, well, this could literally end human life if we allow scientists to go ahead and do this. Because there's nothing on Earth that could ever stop these organisms, and they can do whatever they want. So that's kind of how I look at things like portals and time travel. Is that if we opened up a portal, we would have to know, and I think it would potentially cause the end of existence. Because governments are dumb, and they would be doing what government does. And you can't tell me that if we were able to open up these portals, that someone from our government wouldn't go back and like be like, "Oh, I'm going to go kill my rival politician so I can become president," or "I'm going to go back and invest $5 million in Bitcoin," or "I'm going to go back and." I think we would be seeing that happening. There's really no preventing it.
I feel that. I do. One of the things that was very interesting to me about that we experienced there at the jailhouse was that area that we all stepped into at the one point that just like it was literally just void of everything.
Right.
There was no
Right.
sound, there was
Yep.
no sense of movement,
Yep.
there was no sense of time.
Mhm.
It was literally like as I said there, it was like a cone of silence.
Right.
You know, and trying to understand that, trying to understand what that means was to me just mind blowing. It doesn't make sense. It should not. It's one of those things
Right.
that we experienced it. We were there. We know it exists, but it shouldn't.
Yeah. And it was crazy because, like you said, it was like a wall. As soon as you walked through it, it was like you were in a different everything.
Mhm,
And everything and it was still, I mean, you step back 1 foot and you can hear everything.
mhm,
And then you step 1 foot forward, you can't hear a damn thing. And it just feels different. And it's not like you're stepping through a door or anything like that. I mean, it's in the open
yeah,
outside. It's strange. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it could be. The only time I've ever experienced anything like that was in Point Pleasant, where we found what they thought was like a witch's circle or whatever they call it,
mhm,
where it was these out in the TNT area, there were these trees and they were bent perfectly like a circle where you could just walk right through. And then you walked into this area and it was just a perfect circle of trees. And
wow,
where you know, it was completely covered. It was like a shelter. If you think like a hut, that's essentially what it was, but it was made of nature. But you would step in there and the birds, the animals, everything just quiet.
mhm.
So I don't know. It's a thing.
Right, right. Ryan C says, I've never heard of the Mandela effect before the 2000s. I kind of I feel that. I really do. I never really heard about it either until the 2000s. on the 33rd parallel.
Good question.
So, Pam, I think we're talking about Point Pleasant, West Virginia, which
Yeah.
is in like in line with the 33rd. I'm not sure exactly which parallel that falls on, but yeah, that wow. So Point Pleasant, that's in itself is a whole story. What was your objective going there?
So I started going there because I had met someone by extreme chance. Um, Back then I was playing music. I was putting on concerts, and I found this random band from. I actually said they're from Gallipolis, Ohio. And I ended up booking them to come out 4 hours away for a show, and then I became good friends with them, and then I ended up joining their band. So I was driving like 4 hours every weekend to go play with their band, and they were actually from Point Pleasant, West Virginia. So I lived in Point Pleasant, West Virginia about 3-4 days out of the week. And that's the first person who I met who was into the paranormal like I was. And so we started investigating together and putting together videos and stuff like that. So I was going there for, I don't know, probably about 4 years.
Wow. That's, yeah, because that's a lot. There's a lot about, I've got somebody coming up soon. Let me see. I forget exactly when. The 12th of next month, I've got a interview coming up discussing Indrid Cold, which
Okay.
is a really big part of the whole experience with Point Pleasant and
Right. The Mothman prophecies.
the
And
Mothman prophecies for sure. I'm looking forward to that interview. It was really difficult finding somebody that could really talk about Indrid
Mhm.
Cold, but I managed to do it. When you first got involved with the paranormal, what was the thing that really, I guess, made you dig in and go, what the heck is going on here?
it's a good question. I mean, I had some crazy experiences. I'd seen stuff, heard stuff, stuff like that, but I'm extreme skeptic, very much so. But I think one of the things that blew my mind was it would have been my second time going to Waverly Hills. We were up in room, is it 502? I think, yeah, 502 because I would have been up on the roof, right? I think so. Where the nurse had died up there, jumped out the window, been killed, whatever. And so we were up there doing a session, and we had a couple crazy Class A EVPs come through. But one of them, I was asking her about, if she had done it to herself or someone else did it to her. And clear as day, we got a name that came across as an EVP. And
Wow.
so I ended up looking up this name, and it was a man who worked as a firefighter at Waverly Hills during the time that
Wow.
she had died.
Wow.
A name that no one ever brought up before, no one ever knew before, but he was a firefighter around the same age. I think he was like 19 years old when he was out there or so.
Mm.
And That's when I was like, okay, now I can't explain this because that's way too coincidental. So we put out the video and then they told us to take it down. So we end up having to take it down. Um, which I can understand what they're saying now. You know, you don't want to. Not, I'm not saying that he did it. I'm just, this is what we caught, you know? It's just crazy that it lined up. And they're like, well, they still have family in the area, so we don't want that. I was like, okay, I gotcha. But
Hmm.
that was probably the first experience I had where it made me really start digging deeper. Like, okay, I'm not just crazy. And not only is there something going on, it's something that has intelligence that we can then learn from and communicate with, right?
Right. Right. Definitely. Yeah. That's the thing is like you run across these experiences, you run across these little nuggets of things that kind of make you go, huh? And
Yeah.
um, and that is what really kind of cements and gels a lot of our like that makes an investigator, you know, or a researcher. It's those nuggets of things that just don't make sense. And that is really what starts us out on a magical journey into discovering all of these things. And that's really you what this show is about. And this is what my goal is to bring those nuggets to people that will make them raise their eyebrow and go, I need to know more. This is good, but I know there's something bigger and better behind this thing somehow, and digging
Right.
into it, because at the end of the day you can sit back and you can watch 50 videos that have some really great stuff and has some really fun, entertaining, um, an entertainment value to it. But when you hit on the thing that makes you want to hit the golden buzzer and say, yep, this is the thing that is going to make me want to research, want to make me investigate. That's what I'm after. That's what I'm after at the end of the day, is to find the thing that's going to get people's glory bumps going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's the paranormal is really kind of a gateway drug. Because like you said, you hear that, and the next thing you know, you're studying science, you're studying biology, you're studying
Mm,
history, you're studying psychology, all these different things that go into the paranormal, whether it be cryptids, whether it be hauntings. Um, all this stuff gets compiled together. So once you find that thing, you might as well just say goodbye to your life for like the next 6 months because you're gonna be diving into everything.
oh yeah, yeah. It's gonna make you like your inner nerd is gonna come out that closet
Yep.
like there is no tomorrow.
Yep.
And that's really the thing that I'm searching for, is a thing that's going to put the finger on your inner nerd. So, supposedly, Ryan C says this. Supposedly, linear time only exists to mankind. So, a photo or video might catch something that was or will be there. Hmm, I can see that. I can definitely see that. I've seen some photos and videos that made me scratch my head and go, "What am I looking at?"
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think that's possible, but the one thing that I always go back to, and I'm still mind blown about it. Was the psychologist, I believe it's Neil Seth out of Professor at Essex, who was talking about how we live in a controlled hallucination, how our brain is constantly hallucinating and everything, and that there's stuff around us that we can't see because our brain doesn't know to see it yet. That I kind of buy a little bit more into, simply because I always say, how many paranormal investigators do you have today who never had an experience as a child? Back when your brain was still developing, didn't know what should exist. It's why kids get scared of stuff in the dark and stuff like that. Now we're, as adults, we have this watered down brain that's been told, what to think, what to see, and that kind of stuff. But there's not many paranormal investigators that you can find, if any, that did not have an experience as a child. And now they're having these experiences as adults.
Right.
So it really makes me wonder if there isn't something to that theory, that if we can see stuff once, then we can see it, for the rest of our lives, because our brain knows this stuff exists. So I don't know. It also interests me to see if there's anyone out there who has had a crazy encounter as an adult that had never had any sort of experience earlier on in their life.
Right.
I've yet to encounter that. And if they do, they usually like, well, I mean, I guess there was this one thing, but that was just me and my imagination, whatever, just being a child. But it just makes you wonder.
Definitely does. And that is food for thought, you guys. If that resonates with you, let us know in the comments down below for sure. Because I have to agree, I have not run across anybody yet who is like jumping up and down going, yeah, this is my experience. And it's just, yeah, usually it's right the opposite. It's like what you were saying about as a child, so as an adult, you just don't see a whole lot of paranormal investigators or researchers who did not early on have some kind of crazy shit happening.
Right.
That is for sure. So, as we are heading into the hour of this episode, the top of the hour, I want to, first of all, I want to thank everybody that dropped in tonight, that was in the chat, that did any engagement whatsoever tonight. Thank you guys very much. You have made this night worth being here. Okay. I also want to thank all 498 subscribers. There are 498 of you guys out there right now. Thank you very much, because you are the reason why I do this, okay? Not only that, but I want to thank again my mod team. You guys are amazing. You really do a lot to bring the show, and you are the foundation that helps to build this, is what I'm really trying to say. So thank you guys. I appreciate you. Austin, you know, you my bro. What can I say? I got it. Like,
Absolutely.
honestly, you know what? If there are times, that you're the one that keeps me from losing my shit before the day's over with, because there are days when honestly, you're right, Pam. This has definitely been an amazing chat tonight, an amazing show, and we've had some amazing guests. Tom Franklin, another incredible podcaster. I cannot thank him enough for showing up tonight. Paranormal Palm, Jim Powell, both incredible podcasters. Go check out their shows. The list just goes on and on and on. I could literally be on here listing people forever today. I do want to encourage you guys again, check out magicaljourneypodcast.com. I'm updating that site, and I'm saying that with a question mark, because it's not happening as quickly as I want it to. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, but
Yep.
it is happening. Go on there and check out the magical merch. Also, do not forget to check out, I believe there should be a gateway to the Koi-Fi, which is definitely going to be a way of being able to support this show and the effort coming up. What else? Austin, what are your closing thoughts for tonight?
Shit is weird.
Right. The shit that we do is weird.
Yeah, that's all I got. People always ask me, well, can you explain? I can't explain nothing. Shit's weird. That's all I got for you.
You can't explain anything?
No, I got nothing. Every time you try to explain something, you get proven wrong. That's just how the paranormal works.
True.
The only constant is that shit is weird.
That is very true. It is very weird. It's a very weird and wonderful world. Well, I'm going to tell you guys my thought on it, because that's what I do. I think, first of all, I have to agree with Austin. Shit is weird. It is very hard for us to understand. We will probably never fully understand any of it, and that's okay. At the end of the day, it's not about what we think we know or what we want to know. It's about what we do to make all of this worthwhile. Okay. What are you doing to make the world better? What are you doing to enrich the lives of the people who are touched by these experiences? That's what it's really all about. And if you are doing anything to help enrich the lives of the people who are even sometimes victimized by the paranormal, by cryptids, by high strangeness, then you are doing the thing. You're doing what is needed. All right, guys. I love you guys. Remember, never, ever forget what? May your journey always be magical.
There it is. You said the thing.
I said the thing.
I've waited for so long to see when you come back to me. Through the wars and battles that were lost, we're born again, it's you and me. The rest is history. Past lives. We must have been something in our past life.